Weary and weak, you travel through the forest while hope withers away. Suddenly, a powerful presence looms over you. It is Thorák, the Allfather, forger of worlds. He reveals a vision of the world crafted to perfection and gifts you his hammer to forge your own destiny. His words ignites a fire within you, and you know that from this moment on, your life will be a journey of creation, shaping the world with your hands and with your iron will. Hello, my name is Adam and welcome back to my channel where I make a tabletop role-playing game from scratch on camera. And today we're talking about the Iron Faith and about how I frequently mix and match ideas from real religions and reuse my own world-building ideas, and how you can do the same to get a religion for your RPG setting. As I've said previously about Trollskog, it's a magical forest that spreads outwards. It's kinda like the Feywild and Shadowfell combined, because it has a wild, uncontrollable and beautiful nature, which is also dark and grim. It's not a place you like to spend the night. In the setting, there are two ways of handling Trollskog. In the same way as with nature, you either live with it or try to remove it. There's a spectrum in between, of course, but these are the two extremes. Those that want to live with Trollskog see the creatures or monsters as another animal in the wild. And they see Trollskog as the forces of nature that cannot be overcome. These people are people like witches, druids, and also nomadic people. And if I wanted a rough estimate, I'd say about a third of the population are more or less in this category. On the other side of this story, you have the people who see Trollskog as a threat. If it cannot be tamed, it must be destroyed. And that's when we have to introduce the Iron Faith. The Iron Faith is a religion, or the major religion in the setting. Iron in traditional folklore has a magical protective property. There's tons of stories and traditions in Europe about how iron wards off spirits or is needed to slay monsters. And in the world of Trollskog, iron is literally used to defend against the magical forest. And that's where the Iron Faith comes in. This is the belief of the Orden Empire, which is the only empire currently. And it's not really an empire. It consists of the country of Orden, as well as a few territories on some other continents. I'll probably make a map sometime to show you what it looks like. It currently just a vague image in my brain. Thorák is the smithing god, and is the only god in the Iron Faith. I specifically wanted Thorák to be very focused on iron, so I came up with the idea of him being a smithing god. The church altar is an anvil, and every Sunday a new item is forged by the priest as part of Mass. The item is gifted to one of the followers as a tool to aid them with current or upcoming struggles. And when I say Sunday, it's because I don't have the setting equivalent name for Sunday. I'd have to make a calendar soon too. It is believed that Thorák forged the world in 7,000 years by quenching, hammering and grinding the world into what it is today. And he is not done yet. There are still impurities in this creation, and the mission of the Iron Faith is to remove these impurities. It occurs to me that having a mission to remove the impurities sounds very fascist, but it's not intended to. Well, sort of not. I mean, we can interpret impurities in many different ways. The broad strokes and positive tenets of the Iron Faith is to provide tools and aid for you so you can overcome the obstacles in your life. Thorák doesn't do divine intervention. He forges tools for you to use and evolve yourself as a human being, to help yourself remove your own impurities. But the other interpretation is that the followers are Thorák's tools, and we are here to remove the impurities of the world, which is very fascistic. This makes it easy for you as a GM to create cults who do morally wrong things because their reinterpretation of impurities, and you can mold this to fit perfectly in your campaign. This is a thing I hate about a lot of other fantasy settings, where you have gods or demons who are clearly evil and promote greed. But why? We don't have any evil religions in our world. I much more like the idea that greedy, power-hungry, or delusional people use religion as a tool to get what they want, and I think the Iron Faith manages to do this. You might also have noticed a lot of parallels between Thorák, Odin, and the Christian god. Or the Christian god as he was introduced to Scandinavia in the 11th to 15th century. Back then, when they said to fear God, they meant you should fear God because he wasn't very nice and he would punish you. For instance, Saint Olav, who was the Viking king who managed to unite Norway under the Christian faith, did by telling all the other local kings to either convert to Christianity or get murdered. And he delivered on that promise. Great stuff. The history of Christianity in Norway and how it has been used as a political tool and a way to govern the people is very fascinating. And I want to draw on elements of that into the Iron Faith. I also want to draw on ideas from Odin, because my world has a tiny nudge towards Norse traditions, and in a lot of places God was introduced as a reimagining of Odin when Scandinavia first adapted to Christianity, which also caused a lot of interesting symbolisms and traditions in Scandinavia. In your own world building, not only will using real religions help you to get a depth in your setting, but also if you, like I do, take a subset of a religion, both in time and place, and mix it with some other religion, you'll get religions like the Iron Faith, which both seems unique but also familiar. And for those astute observers among you, you might also see a parallel between Thorák and the dwarven god Thorák from Pathfinder. As I always say, reuse your stuff. I needed some backstory for a Pathfinder campaign I did 10 years ago, because there was an important NPC cleric. So I wrote down some backstory about Thorák, but with a few customizations to my campaign. A few years later, I needed a dwarven god for a different campaign and reused Thorák again. This time I added the anvil altar and actually made the temple a fortress with a lot of weapons and stuff to fight off demons that would periodically storm the temple. Now, when I started planning the Iron Faith, I thought, wait, didn't I already have 2,000 words about some god that liked iron? And with a few tweaks, Thorák was born again. Lastly, the Iron Priests. I haven't set up any definite ranks or anything within the organization, but I want there to be. I want them to have different roles within the Iron Faith. Some hold sermons like weddings, baptisms and other stuff. Others are missionaries that walk around on the countryside and provide the same benefits and also education. Finally, I want the exterminator type of Iron Priests. The ones that are deployed in areas where Trollskog activity is cited, and they're sent out to remove it, or at least ward the nearby settlement from it. These are probably the most zealous and militarized of the bunch, like the 40k Inquisitors, who have no mercy in beating down on heresy. And I think the players should be able to choose these zealous warriors as a class. Even though I'm not a fan of having classes specifically tied to organizations, I'll figure something out, I guess. I'm gonna make a dedicated video about the Iron Priests at a later date. As I said, these are some rough guidelines. If you have any ideas, or maybe a real religious organization that did this, then write a comment down below. And while you're down there, you could hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to share this with your GM, they'll probably like it. See ya! What? Oh, and if you're struggling with coming up with ideas for your gods, just use ChatGPT. Look at this. Do you know who Thorák from Pathfinder is? And could you mix him with Odin and the Christian god? Boom! Here's a template.